Hello, self, cosmos, ohana, infinite beings. It's Soul Dr. Nick here. It is Monday, April 7th, 2025, probably around 6:30 a.m. Just was listening to Joe Rogan and Chris Williamson and sitting here with first light, probably not quite at sunrise yet. Sitting with a fire pit because it's cold under the rain. Looking at myself, I'm like, man, he looks a little homeless. And I am a little homeless here on the rooftop patio, but I'm glad that I feel a little homeless, a little cold, a little, out in the unknown. I'm going to try changing this angle a little bit and see if that works better. Yeah. And yeah, the camera keeps moving and hopefully that's okay. But again, reminding myself this is magic mirror work. This is for me. This isn't for you or anyone else. Haven't shaved in a while. Haven't cleaned myself up. Had a great breath session yesterday, Ohana breath, certainty. And the next one's going to be Ohana breath, E equals MC square, energy equals matter. There's something there that wants to be shared. And incorporating in the intents of participants is what I want to play with as well. So hopefully we'll have some new, some old, and everything else in between. Reminding people to show up live, that there's power and there's magic being there together, and then letting go as well. I really, really, really want this to grow big, and what's in the way of it, and being with it exactly as it is, and looking at what there is to create next for marketing, for putting self out there, for putting my own clarity out. So one of the things my team's requested me to do is get myself on Aubrey Marcus's podcast. And I was chatting with my beloved last night. She's like, there's probably a part of you that's blocking this. And I was like, yeah. She had some great suggestions, just listening to this podcast and pretending I'm answering the questions. Looking at some of my old stuff that I've done just to get a perspective of where I was. And then noticing, she's like, what if you compare that to being on someone else's podcast? She said someone else's name. It's like, oh, that'd be easy. She's like, yeah, can you just notice that you have a self-judgment, a self-assessment, making him bigger or harder or more difficult or any of those things. And it's like, I can totally see that. Not true, not right, not wrong, just is. And how do I be with that? And coming back to magic mirror work. And then taking a breath and then feeling bad about sending out this email to someone and requesting and all these things. I've got lots of stories going on up that head. Lots of stories, lots of complexities. Let's come back to the simplicity of life. Let's come back to writing down a few priorities. Do I want to be in the Awaken Breathwork course? Am I mixing up things, like mixing up partnerships versus clients versus teachers versus trainers versus favors versus all these other things? And that's sometimes my thing, is mixing up different experiences. And then I feel bad, I feel guilty, and I feel shameful. And I'm like, am I supposed to, or is that just the patterning of life? Not that I'm going to get it right, but it's actually okay to get it wrong sometimes. It's actually beneficial to get it wrong sometimes. It's a benefit to fuck up. Like your fuck ups are what you learn from. And in some ways, yes. The unteachable lessons, as Chris William would say. The battles that we fought, the fights that we fought, the virtue signaling. Oh, like nowadays you can't be like, oh, I'm thin because I'm just thin, or I lost weight because I just lost weight. It's like, no, you probably took Ozempic. It's like, it's a very, I can see it in those circles where they're like dismissive. And I can see it differently in the circles where you've really stepped into authenticity, intimacy, integrity. It's like, is this the thing I want to stand on? The leg I want to stand on? Yeah, I did this naturally. Or yeah, I did this, I can't say naturally, I did this without Ozempic. I did this in a different way. It's not like I didn't get support. Like, that's the piece that I think is missing sometimes, is it's many of these podcasts I'm listening to is reducing things down, back down to the materialistic side of things. Also, I would say that definitely don't agree with just funding the Western medicine. I really appreciate Naval saying is like, I think we're going to be horrified with how we look at medicine in the future. And I think we've done that. Like, it's funny, whenever I was in med school, like, oh my God, 100 years ago, I can't believe we used to, like, put leeches on people or cut things out that we didn't need to. And like now it's like hearing people cutting out tonsils, pulling out teeth, putting in crowns, all the unnecessary back surgeries that are happening, or the C-sections or something else. Like, these are all major surgeries or major drugs that are being placed on certain conditions. Like, we'll try this out, we'll try this out, we'll try this out, and over again, the whole system being more and more bankrupt fiscally, and unfortunately in some ways morally as well, because even the doctors, and I can see I couldn't keep up with it as a trainee. I don't know any doctor who can actually keep up with all the different crazy permutations we're putting in the system, all the complexity we're putting in the system, and it's not instead of, but we don't value someone who takes a step back and says, why are we doing it this way? Like, this whole Framingham study and having to jump ass backwards looking at all these different parameters in order to justify these medications, to say that there is a large population risk reduction while also looking at all these side effects. And how is it a drug that nowadays, when I talk to some people, like, this drug shouldn't even exist, got framed as one that should be given to everyone? It baffles me to some extent. I think medicine, short-term stuff, and I'm not a policymaker. That's the piece I recognize too, is like, I'm going to play in my lane. I have ideas about this, but I'm not going to be the be all and end all. It's like the whole idea of defund the police. I can see the intent that could have been behind there, aside from the more malicious ideas. It's like, oh my God, like, this antagonistic way of being is not serving us. We want power versus force. But you can't just jump into power versus force. Actually, it'd be amazing if you could. I just don't know how to. It's the same thing with the healthcare. You can't just jump into not having access to healthcare when people are so used to this being the default way of doing things. But being able to take a step back from the things that may not be working so well. And there's going to be some frustration initially, because the pushback, the placebo effect is so strong. Like, and really acknowledge the placebo effect. Like, fuck, 30 some odd percent of you are getting better from placebo effect. I'm taking that chance away from you. I'm sorry. But I recognize as well, whether it's Charles S. Knight says it's the war mentality, or it's the and it's a balance, or it's the we just got to get shit done, because if we're trying to explain everything, justify everything, apologize for everything, we're never going to get anywhere, and then people are going to use that against us right now. Like, everything has been weaponized. Even this, like, why is it that I'm worried about putting myself out there? What if it's used against me? And do I really want to be a target? No. And am I revolutionary? I don't think I am. I think the bigger thing is I really enjoy playing and having fun and reminding others it's safe to play. And then I'm worried that, is it actually safe to play, or it's because I've been hiding in this, little corner of the world that it is actually safe to play. And then when I actually get out there, it's like the wolves are going to come out. And what is success, right? Is it, catching my fish every day and just enjoying that instead of scaling up the business? Maybe. There's this piece talking with some friends about building some self-sustaining homes that really sustain our way of being and living, and taking a look at that, and taking a look at non-native EMF and a biological EMF kind of person, and recognizing, how do we do this in a way where we're not spending a shit ton of money? And then taking a look outside of the regular way of taking a look at money. there's that piece too. And I don't know what exactly that looks like. I don't know the entirety of what that looks like, to be honest. And then I'm just contemplating, what do I actually want to talk about? What is of value that I could share? There's a lot of redemption arcs in my life. The idea of quitting things earlier, for sure. The idea of unstructured versus structured. The idea of actually developing that internal genius versus finding a way to fit that into a known mold. A lot of the time I can see that now, and it's one of my gifts. I don't try to ask children, especially, how did you figure that out? I just accept it as it is and try to reinforce the ability to have that behavior, have that thought. And sometimes it's my own, there's a balance though, because my beloved's much better at asking the questions. How did you not ask that question? I'm like, I just didn't even think of it. And then just playing. I'm really quite good at playing with children to a certain extent when I'm in that restful, playful state. And then being the container, like having breathwork sessions, music sessions, word sessions, experiential sessions, container sessions where I'm actually with people, setting up the stage slightly differently, and then having deep, profound experiences with them online, virtually, via breath. I mean, there's so many people that I have in my life, and there's so many people that I've pushed out of my life. And how do I actually have that balance? Oh, okay. Magic mirror work for me. And as well, the other thing I realized is that getting on podcasts, great idea, but by the time podcasts are released, it may be too late for our window. So that's the piece. I am going to do this because it's important and I never know. And for the shorter term, what is there that we need to create, if anything, for the earlier momentum? And it's a combination of both. It's not one or the other that's going to solve this. It's important to take the long-term vision and have things to hang our hats on. But even that short-term vision of what it is. Then I'm going to keep putting out little snippets and get clearer and clearer on what it is that I'm creating. Because the big part of it is, it's the preparation. It's like, oh my God, mind, body, soul, how disconnected are we with this world right now? How stressed out with our food, our nutrition, our intake, our relationship with the sun, health, pharmaceuticals, our idea of a silver bullet, of fixing things, of that there is a perfect state to be in, that there is a heaven, not a hell, all these things, and actually starting that school of unlearning even before you're on the medicine, because otherwise there's an increased likelihood of, I don't know whether to say this out loud in the thing, but increased likelihood of like almost some psychotic loops, increased likelihood of stepping into revolving pain, increased likelihood of stepping into a place where you're trying to get approval or trying to be the good client, good patient, good person, trying to tie this up in a bow in your own way, trying to control things. All those parts are still there. And that's not good or bad if it comes up. Rather, addressing that before the session in the best way possible, so beneficial. And that's why some of the people we've had, whether they purge beforehand, whether they have intense sessions beforehand, it can be wonderful. It's letting go of that control. And then in the session itself, having so much fun. Spiritual work doesn't have to be serious, it can be fun. Having the support, receiving the care, requesting, allowing yourself to speak, knowing that it's being recorded, because that way you can actually just say the thing. The worst you do is delete it. And then say the thing, remember the thing, and then remind yourself and have that anchoring point. We're doing everything we can to both enjoy the moment, just be present, flow with it, and create an anchor point for yourself so you can return to, whether it's noticing things inside your body, your mind, your soul, so that over the next 4 months, as you're incorporating this into your everyday life, and often the thing that you think you want, it doesn't quite turn out the way that you want. What your soul's guiding you towards, what your higher self, your future self is guiding you towards, almost certainly, especially with the support to realize it and to actually ground it into your reality. Because that's the thing we really want. I really want. I think you really want too, if you're actually coming for this, is you really want the reality to change, not just when you're in the medicine, in the moment, in the journey, but like, oh my God, like my business is turning around in a way that I couldn't imagine. My relationship is turning around. My relationship with my children, my relationship with my parents, my relationship with my health, my disease, my relationship with my mind, my relationship with my stress. And it's funny hearing someone who right now is like quote unquote successful saying, I wish I could be 5 to 10% less effective, but really actually enjoy the process more. And I could see it. I could see the urgency he had during the podcast to say the thing that he thinks is really important to say. And that's what I'm doing right now with doing this magic mirror work, is getting out the stuff that feels so urgent. I must share. It's like, oh my God, when I was on those crazy experiences, ceremonial containers, and I felt this sudden expansion of time going forward and backwards and seeing that everything is perfect exactly the way it is. And I was like, I got to scream this out to Aubrey and Elon and everyone else. Just slow the fuck down. Take it easy. It's going to be okay. And then noticing for myself right away afterwards, the urgency, even right now, the urgency of trying to get this done. And reminding myself, both and, it's going to be okay. And I want to get it done. And I'm creating a bigger and better master plan. It's the intersection of all of those things. It's the intersection of all the things. It's the intersection of all of the things. Right now, all this matters ASAP. So, gonna request the team help me out, not just with my stuff, but with getting me on a podcast of some kind that seems like it's a reasonably decent fit. Because the sooner we jump onto one, the sooner something is recorded, probably and possibly the better it's going to be. Chatting about things, riffing about things, loving about things, awesome. Just starting to get the word out there that I want to be on podcasts, awesome. Got an amazing product. We've got so much fun with the results. Got founding partners, got collaborators. Currently prioritizing it a little bit. I can use the breathwork sessions to book it in. 2 hours is pretty good for most of them. I always book it longer. All right, affirmations. Let's try that first. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. It's going to be a wunderbar day. I feel to heal. I always have a choice. Everything is a story. The only constant is change. I'm a master reader. Whatever I read, I retain. I have a photographic, audiographic mind. Whatever is really important to me, I got for life. The universe is my playground, the world is my home, and every country is another room in the house. Gratitude, love, enthusiasm, inspiration. Feelings that help people draw money to me. I'm grateful, I'm loving, I'm inspired, I'm enthusiastic. His dream has to die in order for mine to live. The universe is waiting for me to declare my worth. If my mom was a mother I hoped she would be, I would not be the man I'm proud to be today. I'm magnificent just the way I am. I listen to my immortal nature and it knows. Just switching the camera for a second. My true nature is love and wisdom. Wisdom is the instantaneous recognition that crisis is a blessing. Life is a gift. Thank you. No matter what I have done or have not done, I'm worthy of love. I'm made of light. What can harm me? I'm worthy of having all of my dreams come true. How is this helping me fulfill my destiny? Love is all there is. Everything else is illusion. No matter what I have done or have not done, I'm worthy of love. So again, I'm up here in the sunshine, first light. first light and sunrise, because there's a difference in the waves and the balance of the infrared and the blue light, and having that actually hit the parts of the retina which have receptors for this helps to create the hormones my body needs. I am probably falling asleep easier than I have before. I am having some more body aches, and my body's going through some transition right now. Now, whether good, bad, indifferent, I don't know. But am I willing to keep running the experiment? Yes. And I think that's a key piece. It's been 2 weeks since we've had this gazebo up. I've been coming up here now then at least 2 weeks consistently for first light. And so I'm going to keep running this experiment for, I'd say, at least 2 more weeks before I decide, am I going to make some shifts? And so blocking off sunrise, or if I'm going to be doing something, taking the call up here is going to be critical. And then starting to speak about this, because it'll be 2 weeks from now, actually, it'll be a 4-week miracle in a way that I'm hitting sunrise. So for those that don't know me, they'd be like, yeah, I used to be able to sleep until 3 p.m. and now I'm waking up at fucking, not just waking up, I'm making sure I'm outside for sunrise. And it can seem small for some people, but for me, that's a seismic shift. And how many seismic shifts do we get to have in life? Like the whole idea of flip-flopping. In a way, I'm going to be a great flip-flopper, and in a way, we've set this up in medicine, but we've forgotten it. It's like, what are we doing now that 100 years from now, especially, we're going to be like, that was ridiculous that we did. And a big part of it will be the whole idea of surgery for parts of the body that we think are useless, which probably aren't useless, but something has gone on to really get in the way. Our materialistic side versus the non-native EMF side of things. I can't feel everything, but I can definitely hear better, like high-pitched ringing and other things like that these days, and just noticing it. Our loss of the ability just to breathe and regulate our body properly, or remind ourselves that we are our own medicine. Our approach to many diseases such as cancer, which is really suppress, starve, destroy. Like it's this war mentality against the body. Forgetting to actually, call in the body support, like bacteriostatic antibiotics. It only works because the body's constantly doing shit as well. So how do we remind ourselves of that more rather than less? The over-reliance on surgery now, just because we have the short-term ability to turn off pain and to turn off the infectious process. I'm really grateful we have those tools, but doing it too regularly for too many people is actually causing more problems. Misaligned incentives. And I don't know how to do it better. But I recognize that. Like the reason why I was doing a lot of things, getting a lot of different therapies from very specific people, is because they had the ability for reimbursement, not because I thought they were the best for me for that thing. And now, especially since I've stepped outside of it, when I started with coaching, with breath work, with meditation, with ceremonial work, I'm realizing, oh my God, like none of this stuff is covered. So someone really has to want to do this. It makes a difference when they really want to do this. In a way, I don't need to have much of this covered because, especially for me, I don't want to be regulated. I realize that now. Regulation is great to provide a certain level of safety, but it also takes away from the ability to really create change the way that I want to. It's the difference between actually having your own sense of ethics versus needing to regulate ethics. And it's not to say one is better than the other. I'm worth it. I deserve to have my dreams. I deserve to take the time to focus on the infinite details to create them. I have a human will, and I'll align it with divine will and allow it to fill me and inspire me to write out each dream in a specific fashion. I see my dreams with crystal clarity. I am worthy of having my dreams come true. The pain of regret outweighs the pain of discipline. The genius listens to the guidance of the soul and obeys. I am a genius, and I apply my wisdom. I do what I love, and I love what I do. I'm a human being. I have every trait in perfect balance, and they all serve. Whatever I see is me. Whatever appears, I look for the other side and I'm free. I take no credit and take no blame. This too is a lesson in love. Thank you for my skills and opportunities to participate in this world. Words that I used to really identify with, like cavalier, I'm noticing now, especially as a father, it's not that I don't take bold action sometimes or make bold statements, but I recognize that cavalier in and of itself isn't always how I want to show up. And sometimes I show up that way, not because I am cavalier, but because the way I say it so simply may seem like I am being cavalier. And there's always both sides to it. And sometimes when I say things so simply, I am actually, in some ways, being cavalier because I'm too quickly dismissing alternative courses of action. It's like, this is the right way. And in a way, it can silence dissent. And always remembering, when is it important to, okay, emergency situation, act right now, just do the thing. Doesn't matter if it's not the best thing. Doing something better than nothing. But very few situations are like that. And then in the situations, and especially when I'm in ceremony, I'm really good at reminding them, I'm doing this, and keep an eye out. Is there something else we could be doing? I'm open to alternative suggestions. And in the ceremonial setting, I can be very clear on what I see, but as well, I recognize I don't know everything. That's why I'm bringing in good people, really good people. And I recognize that my dear friend was trying to say to me, is like, it looked too busy. People were pouncing on. And that's one way of looking at it. And I can see that lens of looking. I can see that lens of looking, but there's always an observer effect. I think what I'm reminded of is, from my lens, unless someone's actively doing harm, and I can guide them to remembering the pieces of how to do whatever they do better, especially when they're new. Take your time with people, really look, observe, come in, all those things. And I wasn't able to be as clear because it wasn't my container. When it is my container, that's my reminder. Less is more, less is more, less is more. Notice when you're getting in over your head, ask for support. But notice when you've created the scenario to ask for support. And just notice for yourself, like, it's not good, bad, guilt, or shame, but keep learning as you're going through it. Keep learning as you're going through it. Keep learning. Because especially if you're new, there's going to be things for you to learn from this. Learn without having to ask for a teacher. Every single person in front of you is a teacher. Notice when you're looking around, when you're with someone, and be with the smaller picture first, unless you really are more comfortable being with the bigger picture as well at the same time. You don't have to jump from one person to another. Notice that you don't have to leave someone fully complete. And notice, especially if you're newer, the more complete you can leave them, the better it is. Just because someone's going through something that looks emotional doesn't mean they need assistance. Just because someone is not going through something emotional doesn't mean they don't need assistance. But often those people do not need as much hands-on as they might just benefit from having close by. And that's my work, is to keep observing too. I don't need to fully speak up. I'm not fully speaking up yet. I'm building up my own self-confidence amongst different people. Part of it is because there's such articulate poking of holes, and part of it's because I'm not 100% sure of my position yet. And part of it is because when it's not my container. Own the container as well. And then I meet a sage, a wise being with a universal perspective. And what does he talk about? Eternity. He doesn't think there's immortal time and space. He thinks about forever. So part of my work is taking a look at the visions, the much larger, longer visions. It's looking at, feeling into the land. Like there's definitely something that wants to be built, something. And I'm grateful that I got this to a place where my beloved feels some excitement as well. That doesn't mean this is the thing. But I've got some friends who are looking for some land, one to develop it, one to nurture it. How do we co-create it? How do they put in the sweat equity? How do we put in more of the financial equity? How do we back it? How do we build it? How do we trust that it's being built? How do we trust that it's going to work out? Building things up, building multiple structures, building the cob houses, building these structures that are really going to serve, building it so that it's a bulletproof kind of place, building it so it feels really good, building it so it feels energetic, building so it feels practical, building so it can keep expanding. Zoning, the price of land, all of these different little aspects. And how do we create the dream so it's bigger than us, bigger than eternity, and then come back to the present? And so that's the thing that I keep coming back to, like looking at the dream bigger than we can imagine, then coming back to the present one step at a time, one building at a time, one room at a time. Having it so that things are convenient and having it so that things are easy and effortless, and being able to turn on and off the electricity as needed, being able to circuit break whenever needed. Keep learning more and more about things, how to build it more electrically sound, how to clean with more natural cleaners, all these things that we can advertise. The ways of living that we want to be in. And we're going to learn more and more about it. And that's part of it. Like, as I go through this, I joke, I'm like, I want to be facilitated by someone like me. I want to facilitate myself through my own journeys. Like, I realize it's self-directed, it's self-guided, but as well, it's not leaving myself. It's stacking of medicines, it's stacking of words and music, and really acknowledging, hearing the request, listening to what can be done, doing the body work at the same time, doing the tuning work, doing the sound healing work, recording things, like all these aspects, and then having the preparatory work, having the integration work, having the follow-up work with someone who can really guide you, who really trusts that they've got you and you've been got, and then making the real changes in the 3D world at the same time. Really want all those components. And I'm creating that in my own life right now. Like I'm investing in it. And that's a piece that I can say that I'm committed to. Like every year I'm dedicating so much more of my resources than I can imagine. And partnering and collaborating. And where am I getting this? And that's just in this spiritual, energetic, vocational, physical part of things. The other thing is, how do I actually start doing this in all the aspects? And this is the part where I really want to change the way food is grown, home is grown, life is grown, community is grown. And that's part of it. It's like taking a look at how do we grow community in the way that we really want to. It's starting off with just a small growth in community. not trying to overdo it, doing it with people we feel really comfortable with, familiar with, easy with. And not having to do it all the time. Like, that's a piece too. It's like, we're not moving there and saying we're just going to move there, but we're going to have something there. We're going to have something there, something real there. You're young, you can commit to 2 years. I love it. 2-year commitment. And I love that I'm clear. Okay, what's the year commitment? It's going to be in our name. If we make it to 2 years, we can probably get to 50-50. If it's less than 2 years, it's less than 50-50. That's probably it. It's a vesting kind of thing for them. Like, we're going to be buying it up front. It's slowly vesting on their side. And how to do that vesting, because it may not actually get to 50% at the end of 2 years. That may be a 5-year kind of thing. And we'll talk because we want to feel good. Okay, I'm just thinking about all these little things, and they're not little. They're big too. They're big shifts. They're big ways of doing things. They're different ways of doing things. Accelerating things. Like, I have great ideas. I don't know how to implement them all. I've got great ideas for this personalized care, and then I have more ideas for this generalized stuff, like just imagining doing giant breath underneath the pyramids, live music enhanced with 5-MeO, diving into things, diving into recording yourself, diving into being able to speak, diving into supporting each other, diving into supporting yourself, diving into dancing, diving into the breath in a way that you can't imagine, diving into letting go of anyone else's experience. And what can we do in that collective container? And then diving into this, even this idea of Bitcoin breath. How do we actually pour some accelerant onto this breath? Like, and it's not just about my breath, but any breath. Like, how do you do your own breath challenges? Do breath challenges that are important. How do I do other breath trainings? Do I do this awakened breath work? Probably reaching out at least and finding out more about it, learning more about it, learning more and seeing if that's a cohort for me. Exciting to hear about, exciting to apply to. Reminding myself, what is it that I really want to do? And reminding myself, I really want to support my beloved and the things she's excited about. Going on a trip to her parents, this land, and noticing when I feel like it's our things butting up against each other. Part of it is only because it feels like for the longest time we've been stasis, but the stasis is what's allowed me to get to where I am right now. The stasis and the financial support, the financial jointness of our life. The investments we've made. And yeah, savings to investments to speculation. And we've definitely jumped more into speculation than most people have. But I think speculation is only speculation when... Well, that's interesting. What had you blow just when I was saying speculation, eh? Here's the piece I'm getting slightly better at. Listening when the universe is creating synchronicity. Speculation. So when there's enough evidence, enough people that I trust saying something, being willing to step in a certain direction. One of them is the cryptocurrency right now. It's trusting, thank you for having some lower buy-in prices again. Am I confident that it's going to get to a point where it's like, it feels like it's gone up 100% again? Yep. Has it gone up 100% over and over again since we've been invested in it? Yep. Enhanced group collective breath sessions. Probably up to 6 people. $600 each maybe is a good starting place. Few medicine possibilities on tap to enhance your breath, your enhanced extended breath. Book a free follow-up call, myself and Marika. Not a bad idea. What do I recommend? Recommend that you join one of my online breaths. I recommend if you have any body work that you can do. I recommend taking care of your diet, getting out into nature, writing down what you really want. Take a look at our websites. Four 555 666. All beautiful numbers. Thinking about money too much right now. I can notice I get in the loops, thinking about the different price tags and what feels good. And that's not really helping myself right now in this magic mirror work. Just thinking it really loudly in my head. And it's funny that I get there. Almost time to poop as well, so it's almost time to head back down. Just breathing. It's been fun staring at the fire, fun staring at the light, fun being with the heat. Turning it down a little bit. So listen to an Aubrey Marcus podcast. Listen to my own old recordings. Sometimes it's hard to hear myself. That's the thing that I find challenging. Oh, I didn't actually finish. I look at great spans of time and see great order. In love, there is no loss. There is a vast intelligence running the world, and it is in order. Death is an illusion. Life just changes form. I have a great vision, and more money flows to help me fulfill it. There is nothing to fix, but much to love. Happiness and sadness are two sides of fulfillment. I speak from my heart, and people listen. If two people are exactly the same, then one of them isn't necessary. Put them on a pedestal, put them in the pit. Love them for who they are, and they become who you love. There is nothing but love, and all else is illusion. Where is God not? Gratitude is heaven, ingratitude is hell. Everything serves, including me. Nothing is missing, it just changes form. There are no victims, just lessons in love. Forgiveness is a passing milestone on the path of love and truth. Thank you for giving me this experience. I talk to myself with respect to a great genius. I look for the genius in everyone I meet. I link everything I do to my mission, and I am inspired by my life. I walk through the darkened doorway where fear lurks, and I turn on the light. I listen to my heart, which awakens my genius. My genius elevates me beyond my daily illusions. We're going to finish this 500-piece puzzle today. Every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Every day I'm healthier. Every day I'm happier. Every day I'm clearer. I create my reality in every moment, in every hour, and every day. I am strength. I am love. I am joy. Make the rest of my life the best of my life. A genius is one who sees the guiding light of their soul, listens to the internal message, and obeys. I do what I love, and I love what I do. Inspired action, loving service, silent presence, grateful prayer, divine guidance, sharing wisdom, caring sincerely, study truths, temperate rhythm, fair exchange. Fair exchange, temperate rhythm, study truths, caring sincerely, sharing wisdom, divine guidance, grateful prayer, silent presence, loving service, inspired action. Action inspired, service loving, presence silent, prayer grateful, guidance divine, wisdom sharing, sincerely caring, truths study, rhythm temperate, exchange fair. I am a conscious leader, teacher, guide, facilitator, lover, father, husband, and I am present with each and every moment of life. I am a genius. I know what good looks like. I don't leave until I find it. I'm always at the right place at the right time to meet the right people, to make the right connections, to make the right deal. I, Nicholas Hogar Wong, hereby declare before myself, God, others, that my primary purpose in life is to be a soul doctor, first for myself, and then for all those around me by teaching, serving, guiding, facilitating. And I'll do this through taking the highest priority actions every day, including taking the time for myself to explore, to do the magic mirror work, to grow, to do the DeMartini method, to practice affirmation and incantations, to look at my master life plan, to continue to hone in and be clear on what it is that I can most deliver into the world and practice delivering it. Right now through my Ohana Sage and Ohana Breath companies with my founding partners, Marika and Matt, and eventually that will continue to expand, and I'll set up automatic systems for the intake and for the support, and for sustainable fair exchange. Also for the auto magic savings of at least 10%, and the investings and growings of assets, and the delegation of how to manage not just the money, but also the areas of life that are my lower priority actions, and are so important and high in the values, especially those of my beloved and those I care about. I want to keep growing my biological family, as well as growing my Ohana or spiritual family, and I will also share what I learn as quickly as possible, and as thoroughly as possible, and as completely as possible, so that I contribute to the collective wisdom of the world. And I will have wealth in all 7 areas of life, already recognizing that life is perfect and I am so wealthy, and I continue to welcome and invite in more wealth and manage it as well as I can, and give it purpose and flow in clear direction, so that I can create not just for the next year, 10 years, decades, but for the generations and lifetimes to come. I do this not because I want to hold on to it all and say it's mine. Rather, I'm getting clearer and clearer on my message, and by creating more wealth, I can spread this message more clearly and really found the school of unlearning. Okay. Message Harrison to create intentional call. Let's get started if we really want to. Message awaken breath work. Create call with Johanna and Francis. Create call with Caitlin. Great call with Sean. We retreat. Two ideas. See what's create call with Matthew McIntyre. Propose small group deep breath structure. Oh, just writing down some to-dos, really stepping into it, stepping into life, noticing I want to stay on this magic mirror. And that's probably why I need to poop a little bit. It's like, all right, time to get on the next thing. Do what I can, love what I do, then let it go, and go back to the next step. There's always going to be a next step. There's always going to be a next step of things to do. There's always going to be looking at the DeMartini method more. I am looking at it now. What is that trait that I'm admiring or I'm despising? How do I see it in me? How do I name it? How do I get clear on it even? All right. Lots of love. Ciao for now.